It's time for another episode of Chicago This Week. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Taylor Woods. We begin today with a developing story. The Easter weekend took a tragic turn at a Chicago Southside church. Instead of celebrating holiday services inside, crews were putting out flames outside. Elise Devlin is live at a Chicago fire station with that report. Hi, Elise.
Hi, Taylor. That's right. The church caught on fire this weekend, and flare-ups are continuing to happen every single day since. The latest news that we have is once it's determined whether or not the walls can be salvaged or not, then the community members will be able to move forward with hoping to rebuild the church itself. Church members will also be hosting a fundraiser later this week in hopes to get that started. Just after Good Friday services, a massive fire broke out at the historic Antioch Baptist Church in Chicago Southside this weekend.
My heart just breaks to see the church in ruins right now.
Fire investigators ruled the blaze accidental and determined it was caused by crews using a propane torch while doing work on the building's roof.
This is a true tragedy. But we did our best to try to do what we can do. I had over 187 firemen here, over 50-some apparatuses here too.
Members of the church and community gathered together in disbelief.
This community, Englewood community, has gone through a lot. So this church is the light.
Even after hours of putting out the fire on Friday, it reignited Saturday morning.
Church fires are very difficult to fight. And they have truss roof, and if the fire get up in the truss roof, it's almost useless.
The congregation held Easter service at a neighborhood funeral home and discussed hopes to rebuild their Antioch Baptist Church.
Thank you, Elise. A large crowd gathered at Midway Airport to welcome home soldiers, but these service members weren't coming back from combat. They were being recognized for another reason. Our Mary Chappell is live downtown to explain. Hey there, Mary.
Honor Flight is an organization that takes veterans from around the country to see the war memorials in Washington, D.C. Chicago Honor Flight's 100th flight arrived back last week at Midway Airport. Take a look.
The welcome home some of these veterans never got. People gathered in Midway Airport's baggage claim to greet veterans as they came back to Chicago after taking Chicagoland's 100th honor flight to visit war memorials in Washington, D.C. And some Vietnam vets say they are finally feeling honored for their service.
There's no words to express what this is about. It's just, when we came out of the war, people, they were swearing at us, spitting at us. This rectifies all of that.
World War II, Korea, and Vietnam vets took Southwest Airlines Freedom 1 to D.C. free of charge to see the memorials.
You can't put into words to describe the amount of work and things that they do to bring this to the veterans.
A symphony welcomed them as they deplaned in D.C. And World War II vets were honored with a presentation of the colors at the World War II Memorial.
To go on this flight and see what we saw and the people that took care of us, what an organization.
To date, more than 9,000 veterans have made the trip to D.C. from Chicago with Honor Flight.
Thanks, Mary. We're sticking with emotional reunions. Our cameras were there when Chicagoans were reunited with family members from Mexico after decades apart. Here's Hannah Shapiro.
Tengo 24 años que no los veo.
We have 17 years we don't be together, and I'm pretty excited to see her. Yeah, I can't wait for this moment.
On Sunday night, Elizabeth and Laura were among 10 families reunited with relatives from Mexico through Club a Paseo El Alto, a community organization based in Waukegan.
Yo conozco gente que tiene 30 años, 35 años, tienen hijos, nietos, y las mamás tienen 80, 90 años y no pueden venir aquí a este país a verlos.
Club a Paseo El Alto started Uniendo Familias 2 years ago to help bring these families together. The program was delayed until now because of the pandemic.
La señora Cecilia Lara, por favor.
Muchas gracias al club por hacernos realidad este sueño porque es una emoción muy grande para nosotros.
Honestly, I I don't have words for that.
Para nosotros, en nuestro corazón está para poder traer a los familiares que no tienen papeles, tratar de que se vean, que conozcan a sus nietos, a sus hermanos, a sobrinos que han nacido aquí en este país, y es a lo que este grupo ahorita tratamos de hacerlo.
In Waukegan, Hannah Shapiro.
On to labor news now. More than 1,000 graduate students who work at the University of Illinois Chicago are on strike. They're not happy with their current contract. Our reporter Rafael Hipos has that story.
Despite the rainy weather on Monday morning, hundreds of teaching and graduate assistants went on strike at the University of Illinois at Chicago. The strike was organized by the UIC Graduate Employees Organization. The union's leadership says that their main demands are a fairer wage and the elimination of student fees that eat up the paychecks of employees.
The university charges grad workers fees in order to work here, and those amount to about $2,000 per semester, which is a whole paycheck, a whole month's worth of pay for grad workers.
They also called on the university to overhaul its non-discrimination and anti-harassment policies. The union held a short program at noon where representatives from other unions as well as city council officials showed up to voice statements of support.
A fair agreement will make our university stronger, so we want to send a message to every single grad student to be in support, be in solidarity, because we're here until there's justice.
The university redirected requests for comment to their website. The union says that the strike has no end date and will be carried out until a fair contract is negotiated.
We're not just assistants, we're instructors of record, and we just want to represent Chicago the best way we can and make UIC a reputable, great public university.
The UIC GEO met with the university on Tuesday for another round of bargaining. However, the two parties failed to come to an agreement. We'll keep you updated as this story develops.
Thanks, Raphael. Switching gears now. According to Chicago police, there has been an uptick in violent crime along the Chicago Transit Authority. Officials say crime is up 17% from last year. Katerina Alexopoulos talked to commuters about the dangers. She's live downtown. Are people more afraid, Katerina?
Yes, Taylor. People tell me they are more afraid. They would like to see more police presence to feel safer. Take a look.
I feel kind of unsafe with the society and the world that we have come to.
April started off with a CTA train operator being pushed onto the train tracks at the Granville station. Last week, 4 were robbed at gunpoint in one night on CTA trains across the city. This week started off with a rider being hit in the head with a bottle and robbed at the Chicago Avenue station.
I do feel a lot more nervous taking the subway because the subway is something I think everybody is normally comfortable with taking. So for it to be kind of a threat now, it's crazy.
These are 3 out of the countless incidents that have occurred so far in April.
People just might not feel safe in the subway anymore.
What's gonna happen. I mean, in this city, it been happening.
Once you're on it, you're definitely more aware of who's around you. I would now honestly keep more space around the people around me just so that, especially if I'm alone.
CTA has increased police and security to combat this spike in CTA crimes, especially on the subway.
When you see a policeman, you feel more security.
Welcome to the Business Report. I'm Winnie Xu. The consequences of inflation and higher oil prices are simple. The consumer ends up paying more. Now, recent COVID lockdowns in China are adding to the problem. I spent time at a local business where higher costs are being passed on to the customer. Hot dim sums, round tables, large plates for sharing. It's a typical scene at a local Chinese restaurant. But this 25-year-old family-owned restaurant is now forced to raise prices, first time after 5 years.
We're going to have no choice because everything just costs so much more. Dealing with the pandemic, survival, and now the cost of goods have gone up, skyrocketed. Cost of labor has gone up, cost of everything has gone up. Supply chain issues.
Inflation hit 40-year high in March
as consumer index jumped 8.5% higher from a year ago. The supply chain is also affected by the current COVID lockdown in China.
All the containers coming over from China has gone up. You know, a lot of my stuff, I would say 50% of my inventory is made or comes from China, and it's tough. So we have to shop around and just be more economical about things.
While some customers say that price increase will make them less willing to dine out.
The dumplings are really good here, so I wouldn't stop coming, but I would definitely stop coming less.
Others continue to support local businesses through the difficulty.
You gotta do what you gotta do. We're still gonna come just as much as we do. We love their food here. We didn't go anywhere else around here. We love this place.
The board at Twitter is considering whether to accept the bid by Elon Musk to buy the company. Meng Han Xiao has more on the decision.
Well, I think it's very important for there to be an inclusive arena for free speech where all, yeah.
Elon Musk offered to buy 100% of Twitter for $54 per share in cash, claiming it was a move that would unlock Twitter's potential as a platform for free speech. Musk said in his ICC filing that, "I believe free speech is a societal imperative for functioning democracy. However, since making my investment, I now realize the company will neither thrive or serve this societal imperative in its current form." Earlier in March, he has asked his follower if Twitter adheres to free speech, and 70% of people voted for no.
The platform's responsibility is to allow people to voice their opinion. It is not their responsibility to judge what people's opinion is, right or wrong.
However, many experts expressed their concern that Musk may accelerate the spread of misinformation on social media platforms.
If we're talking about falsehoods and lies and conspiracies, is it really important? Is it really important to discuss it as a public? The answer is probably no.
In response to Elon Musk's bid, the board adopted a shareholders' rights plan called a poison pill to block Musk's offer. It seems like Musk is really mad about that. He tweeted that if he acquires the company, he will pay the board nothing.
In recent years, thousands of trees in Chicago began to die. They were infected by an invasive insect. A local group came up with an alternative to chopping them down. Stephanie Kafua is live downtown with more. Hi, Stephanie.
Thanks, Taylor. This week, I sat down with two Chicago sculpture artists to hear about their recent project in Lincoln Park. Take a look.
It's finally spring in Lincoln Park. The zoo is open, the daffodils are in bloom, and birdhouses are buzzing. Lots and lots of birdhouses. 190 to be exact.
They were community trees, right? Like everybody knows this giant, beautiful tree was their tree in their park. And to take it down would be kind of changing the aesthetic of the park.
After an invasive species of insect decimated the Midwest in 2014, thousands of trees in Chicago were infected. Instead of removing the dying trees, the Chicago Tree Project was formed, turning these sickly saplings into works of art.
By adding these, birdhouses, it gave us an opportunity to give the tree a little bit longer of a life.
We did a lot of research on which migratory birds are coming through Chicago, what kind of birdhouses they like, and what the dimensions are, and how big the hole is.
Although this 100-year-old oak tree is dying from age, the project has given neighbors the chance to sit in its shade just a little longer.
Thanks, Stephanie. Passover, Easter, and Ramadan all overlap this past weekend. It's rare for all these major holidays to be celebrated at the same time. And for local Muslims, services are finally different after years of COVID restrictions. Here's a closer look with Chantel Ropp.
That's right, Taylor. Ramadan is a sacred month in the Islamic faith, known for its communal prayers and all-day fasting. After 2 years of COVID restrictions, many were eager to be celebrating together again this year. Take a look. Each day this month, dozens of Muslims gather for midday prayers at the downtown Islamic Center in observance of the holy month of Ramadan, a time marked by self-reflection and sacrifice, like all-day fasting.
The real sense of hunger, how hungry people feel, gets to you. And so you develop that empathy for people.
This community togetherness is particularly special this year after 2 years of COVID restrictions.
In 2020, we were confined to our homes. The community connection was completely broken.
You have seen our prayers. We all stand shoulder to shoulder, closer together. And that was not the thing. So it was very difficult for 2 years not to go to the masjid.
COVID restrictions have since been lifted, but the pandemic pushes on, which means many mosques or masjids in the area are still not hosting community iftars, which is the breaking of the fasts. Regardless, Chairman Kadri is grateful to have its doors open to the public again.
Very nice to be back together and have that socializing and praying together.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching Chicago This Week Sports. I'm Jessica Lazo. In today's show, a local athlete goes pro, and move over NFL, make room for the USFL. We begin with a new college coach in Virginia with deep ties to the Chicago area. Bailey Eichner is live downtown with that story. Hi, Bailey. Hi, Jess. What started as a dream became a reality for the Chicago native. The journey began down the road at Whitney Young, and now she brings those same ambitions to Virginia. A former Whitney M. Young student athlete was named the head women's basketball coach at William & Mary in Virginia. Aaron Dickerson Davis is a Hyde Park native and played at Northwestern University.
He taught me that it's our job to help these young women navigate their lives and their careers after they leave us. We must nudge them toward their dreams.
Dickerson Davis's career began in these walls at Whitney M. Young. Even though she found her fit in Virginia, her impact is still felt here in Chicago.
It's amazing as an African-American woman to be able to get the position that she's gotten. But I think that Erin has paid her dues and everybody recognizes that. She carries herself beautifully, very poised. She's a beautiful woman anyway, but just very extremely poised, very articulate. And so I would just say to Erin, keep doing what you're doing.
William & Mary fans and personnel welcomed Dickerson Davis and her family to the community. Dickerson Davis then had the opportunity to address her team.
I'm Erin Dickerson Davis. Everybody calls me Coach E. I'm your next head women's basketball coach at William & Mary, and I cannot wait to do something special here, and I can't wait to get started. Thank you.
Reporting from downtown Chicago, I'm Bailey Eichner, Chicago This Week. Thanks, Bailey. This week, I also spoke to a Northwestern women's basketball player. She hasn't even graduated yet, and she's already going pro. Veronica Burton and her parents spoke to me about her big move.
With the 7th pick in the 2022 WNBA draft, the Dallas Wings select Veronica Burton, Northwestern University.
After a successful 4 years at Northwestern, Veronica Burton makes her way to the big leagues.
It's definitely an honor. Definitely an amazing feeling and just a surreal moment.
Hearing her name on draft night was a relief for Burton and for her parents as well.
You just get kind of nervous about what you hope for, and so it was definitely a relief, and we were just so thankful.
Especially with all of the hard work and dedication she's put into her game.
I think a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hours in the gym. We're put in to make this happen.
But her dedication to developing a mental toughness is what made her the player she is today.
She's able to raise her game and elevate her game by raising the goals that she has and being able to think on a different level.
Yet it was because of her faith and her experience at Northwestern that she was able to take that extra step toward the WNBA.
I think my faith is the driving factor, and I think the opportunities that I was blessed with was a huge reason as to why I'm here, as to why I got drafted. And I was fortunate enough to go to a school like Northwestern that ended up being the perfect fit for me and for my style of play and just for what I wanted to accomplish. And so I think it's a tribute to the teammates that I had and the coaches that I had because they really did help me get here.
Moving on to football. This season, there are 8 teams in the USFL. They're split into 2 divisions. north and south. Mackenzie Richmond is live in the studio with a look at the upcoming season. Hi, Mackenzie.
Hi, Jessica. Some exciting news for sports fans. Football is back, and much earlier than usual. For the third time in 4 years, a spring football league has kicked off in an attempt to capitalize on Americans' love for the game. But this time, things are a little different. The United States Football League kicked off its inaugural season last Saturday, welcoming 17,000 spectators into the stadium as the Birmingham Stallions faced the New Jersey Generals.
You know, what I keep saying over and over is that the USFL is about opportunity and accessibility. We've got the most affordable live football option in the country, and it's about accessibility for the viewer at home too, and just bringing them closer to the game than they've ever been before.
The USFL introduces an entirely new playbook to the game of football, taking rules from the NFL and college football while also establishing some of its own, including extra point opportunities, onside kicks, and alterations to the play clock. The new broadcast opportunities also make sure to engage the audience and athletes further than other leagues.
What they're doing with all the technology and getting you that up close in-person look, that's never been really seen before. As far as even guys having cameras in the helmet so you can see what they're, kind of what we're seeing and how fast-paced it really is. As well as, like I said, getting that audio. There's a lot of guys, so you're able to just get a different perspective than you ever had before.
While all 8 franchise teams are currently being hosted in Birmingham, the USFL hopes that they can expand and bring teams to their home cities.
So we want the existing 8 franchises to have fans in what we're calling their home markets to be eager for the teams to get to their cities. And then as far as Chicago or the western part of the country, areas that we're not in yet, like that's the kind of thing that we need to address over a period of multiple seasons, and I think we will get there. I think the feedback that we're getting demonstrates that the appetite for spring football is there.
Everybody, Lindsay Tanny here with entertainment news. The spring concert season is officially underway. Big names are making their way through the Chicago area. Our Alyssa Grabinski joins us live in the studio with a few of this week's big stories. What's up, Alyssa?
Hi, Lindsay. From Olivia Rodrigo to the Kardashians to Harry Styles, this past week was jam-packed with celebrity news. Let's take a look. Olivia Rodrigo performed at the Aragon Ballroom last Friday and Saturday night.
For the bridge of driver's license, being able to scream it with thousands of others of people, it's just gonna be the best ever, and just sobbing to Traitor.
The fact that she's 19 and she already has 3 Grammys and she's so successful at such a young age is crazy.
We're all around the same age. We're talking about how we would be such good friends with her. She's just so relatable to all of us.
Also, as an Asian American, just seeing a young artist being able to have such a big platform and be recognized is also super inspiring as an Asian American artist myself.
Other celebrity news you might have missed? The Kardashians returned to screens last week with their new Hulu show. They brought the romance, drama, and of course, family fun. And in music news, Coachella kicked off last week with many famous names in music like Billie Eilish and Harry Styles, who at one point was even joined by Shania Twain.
Thanks, Alyssa. That's right, a lot of huge names on stage at Coachella, and plenty of celebrities in the crowd too. This next story is right up their alley. 4 restaurants in Chicago are now recognized by Michelin for the first time ever. I got the chance to visit all of them and check out the excitement.
It's been kind of an incredible time and also a crazy time to open a restaurant, and we're extremely excited to be here.
Kasama is the first and only Filipino restaurant to receive a Michelin star.
To be included in Michelin was a huge surprise, and super grateful for that.
Chef Jenner Tomaska feels relieved to receive a star for his tasting menu that highlights local artists.
We had some hopes and expectations as this type of service and style of food can
often be recognized. You know, for me, it is an honor to be recognized by them, but it really does a tremendous amount for business.
But how do restaurants know if they're on Michelin's radar?
So there are Michelin inspectors that go around. No one really knows who they are. They tease when the announcements, like on a day they're coming. It was literally a phone call.
Since then,
The wait list for these dinner parties are a little bit longer right now. It's a very good situation to be in, but it's been really nonstop.
so what's the secret to getting a Michelin star? It's not just the food, but
Training is very, very important. I like to tell everyone they have to be kind of ninja ballerinas.
why?
This is an experience, this is a night out, this is a form of entertainment in lieu of the theater, and so that's what we do here.
On to some lifestyle news now. There's a new aerobics hotspot in the city. They have a unique way of getting you to burn calories while having fun. Amber Cooper is live downtown with that report. Did you take the class, Amber?
Hey Lindsay, I wasn't able to take the class, but you may be able to. 10 free tickets will be given away via social media to join the 1-year anniversary workout on April 30th.
A mix of Chicago culture and music, this isn't your ordinary workout class. Fitness instructor Amber Chambers puts a twist on what it means to sweat.
A lot of classes that you see, they are either doing trap music or, Afro beats or something like that. So I really want to give the fitness community or fitness world something different. And I feel like Chicago was missing. So that's why I created Squats plus Juke Music to bring Chicago into the fitness industry.
Chicago juke music is a fast, upbeat genre that first appeared in the late 1990s to early 2000s. This group building and fat burning class is meant to get you on your feet.
Different, like it's a different vibe. It's something that you haven't done before, and it's very Chicago. So why not? It reminds me of my childhood, some of these songs, and it just brings back a lot of good memories.
So juke music is our thing. So nobody really likes working out, like especially starting out. So to be able to dance and work out, it's a double, it's a plus.
Did you know Chicago Fashion Week runs from April 24th to May 1st this year? They'll be showcasing designers at the Water Tower Place on the Magnificent Mile. And I got a special pass to a preview show. Here's what people can expect. Lights, camera, action. Chicago Fashion Week is a week away, and here's a sneak peek of the latest trends.
I'm so happy to be here today with all the new brands that we're showcasing for Fashion Week, which is going to be on the 28th of April through May 1st.
It's all about fun and fashion, but the main purpose is representation.
Inclusion and diversity is part of my life, and the designer reveal shows a lot of credibility that Chicago has to offer in the national, if not global, fashion markets.
Styles from comfort and chic to glitz and glamour.
Leah is wearing our first baguette set, black set. And it is all about diamonds are a girl's best friend. And so she is drizzled in diamonds.
Models feel empowered, displaying their true work of art.
My 10-year-old self would be screaming right now. I'm on the inside, I'm freaking out because I've always wanted to do Fashion Week, and I just always felt like I never could because of my appearance, and to be here and to be doing this is just amazing. I'm so excited to get representation out there.
Some even feel the experience is beyond belief.
I've been modeling within Chicago Fashion Week for about a year and a half now, so it's been an amazing experience and just so much love here.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you back here next week. Have a great day.